Why is there a harbor seal walking around the office?
Oh, that's our new CEO.
Come again?
Well, apparently they didn't order through EasyCater for the board meeting, and when the food didn't arrive, they kind of lost focus. Next thing you know...
We have a seal as our CEO. Did I say something wrong?
No, she just wants a mackerel. Here you go.
Bad ideas happen when there's no food for the meeting. So make sure it's on time and as ordered from more than 80,000 restaurants. How? EasyCater.
Thank you. I just got promoted.
Order 24/7 on EasyCater.com.
How's your mental health? I'm listening with Alanis Morissette.
When it first started, I would have my nightly panic attacks, but then I started getting really curious about all the sensations. Like, I just really started looking at, okay, so chest is, I got really kind of granular in observing the details of what was really going on with the breath and my jaw. It's just survival strategy. It's cortisol cooking nonstop. Chronic stress is trauma.
Explore more at imlistening.org.
Paul and Jordana and DJ, 520 News Talk 830 July 7th. Thank you for coming along for the ride. So I ask you the rhetorical question. You, in your car, you at home, you listening on the Odyssey app, what is the definition of a life well lived? Everybody will have a different answer to that, but I would say having passion, having a purpose, and inspiring those around you. That would be my definition. Tom Swain has done that. He turned 100 years young on the 4th of July, former mayor of Lilydale. And earlier today, the University of Minnesota held a private celebration for Tom Swain. He's also going to be raising the flag at the Twins game on July the 10th. Tom has lived by the philosophy that we must all be involved in our communities. A self-described moderate Republican concerned about climate change. Imagine that. Tom, welcome to the show and happy birthday.
Thank you, Paul. It's good to be here. Good to be any place at age 100.
I've been tracking your career, and I'm in awe of everything you've accomplished. When it comes to the environment, when it comes to being a selfless public servant, and you got very high grades when you were mayor of Lilydale. What's the secret, first of all, to living to be 100? What have you done that you think has helped you achieve that goal? And why are you concerned about climate change? I thought that was mainly younger people. There are some older folks that are as interested, even more concerned about this. Why should we all be concerned, Tom?
I think it's the most important, critical issue that humankind visits. And unless we are better prepared to deal with this, the future looks extraordinarily bleak, and the planet in the judgment of some people, unless we take more directive action now to deal with the greenhouse emissions, the planet, according to some, may be uninhabitable in the future. And I can't stand that prospect because I owe it to my 7 grandchildren and 11 great-grandchildren to do something about it. I don't have much time left, but I think we need to get more people vitally concerned, not just peripherally, and do something to change national policy.
Tom, This is Jordana. Have you seen people's minds change about climate change through your time? And were you always as concerned about climate change, earlier in your career as you are today?
Well, on the latter, I attended a Nobel conference meeting or conference 14 years ago, and Dr. James, what was his last name? Oh, I can't remember.
James Hansen.
That doesn't matter.
James Hansen. Was it Hansen?
Yeah. How do you know
NASA.
that?
Yeah. Well, I've been tracking this too a little bit.
Oh, boy. Well, he said that we're now almost at the tipping point on the emission of CO2, carbon dioxide. And I've been concerned about that ever since, but this here recently when people said, you're about to be 100, what do you want to do? I said, and looking for some kind of cake and cookies. I said, I want to get more involved and get the young people actively involved, because today's generation, in my judgment, is kind of passing the critical parts off to the next generation. What was it just last Monday in Congress? The fossil fuel buy-ups lobbyists were able to eliminate some of the provisions in President Biden's relatively modest climate change program. And they got rid of some of it, and they talk about doing more. And I think more people are conscious of what's going on. How can you avoid it when you get 116 in Portland and 120 someplace up in Canada of what's going on? But things, changing your diet and buying electric cars and doing other things, this is all well and good. But young people need to get politically involved. And my heroine is Greta Thunberg, the Swedish activist who came here, and instead of just nonchalantly talking about it, she kept pointing her fingers at a congressman and others and saying, do something. And we need to do something more than just talk about it.
Tom, does it, and I'm reminded, I don't know who said this, but somebody said it's hard to get somebody to believe something when their salary depends on them not believing.
Yes,
and
that's fair.
The fact that this has become so politicized, if you acknowledge that the climate is changing and it's man-made and we're seeing the effects in the weather, you must be a liberal, you must be a Democrat. I do know a lot of Republicans who are, coming around on this, but does it make you sad that this has become a political football?
Oh, gosh, I say it does. I've been lifelong a moderate Republican, although I'm not voting that way now because I can't buy Trump. But whatever, I think the Republican position on this is just heartbreaking. This is, for the most part, man-made. What is it? 51 billion tons of greenhouse gases are emitting into the atmosphere every year. That's what we do. And that is not biodegradable. It's up there for thousands of years. And year on year, as we're just clouding up the atmosphere and making it, when the G7 group said, we'll make some changes here, but we're going to not include coal mining. We'll let the coal industry continue. It's hard to understand. And yes, if you're in the oil industry, I can understand why you feel it's critical for them to continue.
Tom, we're running out of time, but you've done a very good job of summing up the challenge, and thank you for being outspoken. And man, if I make it to 100, I hope I'm as strong as you are in my beliefs and my convictions. And you're never too old or never too young to be an activist. You're
never too old to put yourself at risk.
Thanks, Tom. We so appreciate you. That was Tom Swain.
You, Tom.
And Tom, you be encouraged. I have 3 teenagers in this house who are very, very concerned about climate and climate change and plastic. So the younger generation will definitely save what the older screwed up.
All right, showtime. You ready?
Born ready.
Great. Did you bring the dongle?
What's a dongle?
Never mind. We'll just show them on your laptop.
I was supposed to bring my laptop?
Don't panic. You shared the presentation with me, right?
I forgot.
Well, if you log in, then we can...
My password. I was about to say I forgot my password.
You ordered the food through EasyCater, right?
Yes?
We'll be fine.
Food can make or break a presentation, so make sure you order at EasyCater.com. Individually packaged food delivered right on time. How? EasyCater.
Introducing Odyssey exclusive stations. We've curated hundreds of new music stations available only on Odyssey by music fans for music fans. Check out our Masters of Metal playing the pioneers of heavy metal, or Katie Neal's Leading Ladies for a salute to the women of country. Like K-pop? Odyssey has that too. We've even invited a few of our famous friends to create stations just for Odyssey listeners like you. It's your pop, country, rock, hip-hop, 80s, fun, jam band, yacht rock soundtrack for your day by Odyssey.